Okay, let's get started. All right, first I'm going to start with my PowerPoint. Let's see if I can get into presentation mode. Oh, I started with the wrong one. Should we start with this one? All right, welcome everyone. I'm so glad to see everybody here. It's actually a pretty wonderful turnout considering it's a glorious day in July and, coming out of a long, wet spring. So I really appreciate everyone taking the time to drop in and, listen to what I have to say. My name is Feline Gaylord, and I have been working with WordPress since, 2011, 2012. I am a graphic designer turned web designer, and I am now an adjunct professor at Clark College, where I teach WordPress and web design, HTML, and business web practices. Some of the experience that I'm going to share with you today is based on using learning management systems at Clark College compared to how it goes with WordPress. Let's see what else. Oh, I have a freelance business building websites with WordPress. My business name is SeriousMedia.com, and I'll have links down at the end. So yeah, I've been doing that for over a decade. So I, am a huge WordPress fan, and I've been part of this community off and on for quite a while. I don't always show up to the meetups, but I do pay attention to them. Okay, so I think I have introduced myself. Let's get started. So first of all, I thought we should define what do we mean by an LMS? If you work with WordPress, you're familiar with a CMS, which is a content management system. But LMS stands for Learning Management System. So basically, it can be a standalone system, enterprise scale, or it can be, basically everything I do with my client site is done with plugins. So what does a learning management system do? What makes it unique? How is it different than just creating a website with, webinars on it? So it has the structure. It's made up of courses, lessons, and modules. So each level of the structure has, is very consistent and provides control at various access points. So a learning management system can include presentations. It can include audio, videos, assignments, quizzes, and grades. So those are all elements that are included in a course built with the LMS. One of the other unique aspects to a learning management system is you can have prerequisites and requirements that will guide students step by step through the content. So basically, you can control the content, access. So you have to take course 1 before you can take course 2, and you have to actually step through each course individually. One of the features that after a student completes the course, it is rewarded by certificates. So they earn a certificate at the end, which they can print out and then, post on their wall or share with the boss, or, basically there's something that says, yes, I completed this course. You can also add gamification. So you can make it a little bit more fun with badges and rewards. So we'll take a look at how those work on my client site I'll kind of share that with you. And yeah, it just adds a little bit of an accomplishment in addition to the certificate. And last but not least, a learning management system provides a means to take payment and provide access to the courses. So basically, at the heart of an LMS, it is a membership plugin, and a membership plugin with extra features. All right, so now, what about webinars? I think probably the most common format of training online these days is very similar to what we're doing right now, is providing an online webinar with, some kind of a Zoom meeting, or, there's several other different, standalones, Google Meet or Teams or something, and you make a presentation, and then you can upload it as a video, and that's pretty static. You don't have a lot of control as to when it's seen, or people don't have documentation that they actually sat through it. So you can use webinars in an LMS system. So you can incorporate a live meeting into a lesson real time. You can allow interaction with students after the initial presentation. So one of the things that's kind of cool about having a webinar posted as a video in a learning management course is that you can get interaction. You can have people make comments, you can have them follow up, and you can measure that. So one of the other ways that you can measure is you can measure knowledge retention via quizzes or assignments. You can tell if people actually, paid attention in the webinar by, demonstrating what they got out of it. And then another advantage to using a webinar in an LMS course is that participation can be certified and be used as a requirement for further coursework. So, for example, if this meeting today were saved as a webinar and put up on an LMS website, basically, then we could come up with quizzes that you guys could take, and then demonstrate what knowledge you gained out of the course, and through quizzes and assignments, and then you get a certificate. So otherwise, as you know, people can go to Zoom meetings and turn off their camera and walk out of the room, and basically, as far as Zoom knows, you've been participating, but we all know that you're not getting anything out of it. So probably one of the biggest things, the biggest features of a learning management system is that you can do student monitoring and management. So you can see how students are progressing through the course. You can actually tell, oh, so-and-so is doing this, and, so someone has done these various modules, or they haven't done it. So you can actually document that. Of course, grades and quiz performance can be used as indicators, how well students are doing. Students have a profile page that help them track their progress. So this is true both in the enterprise level LMS and in LearnDash. You can actually see, oh, these are the courses that I've taken. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tour of my, what websites where I've used this. So I'll be showing you how this works in just a minute. You can also enable discussion forums and provide tools for collaboration. And of course, you can, monetize their participation in the course through payment for either the whole course or individual lessons. So you can collect money on there. So, types of LMSs. So right now, what is being used by schools are enterprise level LMS tools such as Canvas and Moodle. Those two are probably the biggest ones right now. I know Canvas is used throughout the Washington State community college system, and Blackboard. But I can tell you that these tools were probably the fundamental of the foundation of the American education system through the whole COVID pandemic. I mean, these tools really, a lot of teachers had to learn on the fly right after, the lockdown went in. So, these tools were really essential in keeping American students on track. Now, WordPress has several options for LMS solutions. So the one we're going to look at today is LearnDash. Another tool that I work with on some of my client sites is MemberPress, which is basically functional as a membership plugin, but they have the option to build courses there too. So they've been kind of transitioning into both membership and LMS. And then Sensei actually is a fairly recent plugin that was developed by Automatic, our friends at Automatic, and is also very similar to these other tools. So with this, I'm going to stop sharing for now, and then we're going to come to these websites. All right. So I'm going to show you some examples of websites that where my clients are doing online training with different levels of controls. So right now, this one, HK Tangler, she is a Zentangle artist who teaches classes, does some beautiful work. It was really fun to work with. And so she has both live workshops where, she'll be doing it live, and then, of course, and then the video on demand workshops. So her video on demand workshops basically is a private video that she'll send you the link to once you send her some money. Really, really basic. So we don't even have like a sign up form or anything. She just, said, just have people email me. So basically people email her, and then she arranges for payment via PayPal. She has to, manually keep track of the students that have participated in her class. And, basically there's a lot of, just kind of like back end detail work for her to do to keep track of whoever is there. So really just kind of basic webinar format. So the next one I wanted to show you. This one is Holding the Hope. She does training for behavioral health peer counselors. So basically, she has her own CARES toolkit, and basically this was set up originally through MemberPress. So you buy access to it, you sign up, and then once you sign up for it, then you get access to the actual toolkit itself. So I'm going to log in. with one of my testing IDs here. And so it takes you to this members only page that has her various courses on it. And each of these is basically a post with a video and general description. So in this case, we have the video, talk a little bit about what you're going to get from this particular course. We have downloadable PDFs. We have her PowerPoint slides. So basically there's a lot of content here. And then a description of the instructor. There's no way to engage with the instructor. There's no way to work through the exercises. But there's a ton of great, great information. So here's an exercise that you can do, but there's no way to get feedback on it. I have been reminding this client that MemberPress is already built for the courses, and it would add a lot of value to to her and the quality of the content itself to actually convert this members only page to an actual course. But so hopefully someday she'll go for it. You can see that she also has some courses on Teachable. And Teachable is kind of an LMS platform website where you can go and set up your own courses and present your contact here. So that's kind of another option. All right, so I wanted to show you also, and this will look familiar to Mike. So this is Canvas, and this is the tool that we use at Clark College for our various college presentation, classes. And I just thought I would give you just a quick peek as to what this looks like and some of the features that are part of an enterprise level LMS, such as this one. So this was the WordPress class that I taught last term. And you can see that we've got areas here where I can write announcements that will be sent automatically to all of the students. I can set up assignments. I can take attendance. We have discussions of various topics. And the grades. So the grades, this is the backbone of the entire system, right? Because we have to have grades since we're teaching college level courses. So that's a very handy tool, and and to preserve my clients, my students' privacy, I'm not going to show you that particular page, but we'll be looking at grades when we get to LearnDash here in just a minute. So each of these is a module. So you can see we have these modules here. And then these are pages which are added to the module. So we can add pages. I can add various assignments and quizzes. So if I go to add something to it, I can add a quiz, a file, a page, a discussion, just a text header, or an external URL or an external tool. So those are all options that I have to put content into these modules. The Panopto recordings are connected directly to Zoom. So after each class session, the Zoom recordings are, placed here. And we've got a list of people who are in the class. So one of the things you would see, if I showed you this people page, you'd see the names of each student, and you'd see that the amount of time each student has spent working in the course. So it's pretty obvious that if, you know, a student is really struggling, they're doing poorly in the class, and you can look and you say, oh, you know, they've only spent 5 hours in this material, whereas the people that are getting A's have spent 20 hours. So you can actually kind of correlate. It's like, okay, somebody needs to, you know, I need to follow up with this student. I need to make sure they're putting the time in, and all that kind of stuff. So we actually can feature Zoom meetings in here as well. And one of the other features, since our classes are synchronous, we do have, you know, class meetings, and so we can tell, you know, this calendar actually tells me when each meeting is and when each assignment is due. So this is an example of an enterprise level learning management system that's used at the college level. All right, so let's take a look at accessible ed tools. So this is, oh, let me check chat here. I see 3 things in chat. Yeah. Okay, so Blackboard is the platform used by the university you work in. Yep. And can the LMS student monitoring tool be incorporated to a Teams sub-channel SharePoint hosted forum? Dennis, I have no idea, but I bet you probably could. I know that that's a feature in Canvas. I'm not sure if that's something LearnDash will do or not, but cool, great. All right, I appreciate pointing out the pros and cons. Wow, cool. All right, so this is Accessible Ed Tools. This was the site that my first LearnDash site, and it turned out to be a really great tool. I got some really great support from their development team, because some of the stuff I was trying to do took me a while to figure out, and they were really great about it. So let's just take a look at this site right now for the general, you know, look and feel. So the 2 clients that I worked with on this one is an education professor, I think down at U of O, who basically is focusing on teaching teachers how to include accessible education tools in their coursework. So she wanted to put this information online, and then her sister, as her business partner, reached out to me. She was already my client, and so said, how could we do this? So we figured it out. So right now we've got this, it looks like a familiar kind of blog grid format, or like a WooCommerce kind of grid. But you can see that we've got the price, you know, shown for each class, a brief description of the class and what they're going to learn, and of course the Learn More ticket. So one of the things that is built into LearnDash is, you know, it tells you what your status is immediately. And if you're not enrolled, it comes up first thing with the call to action. It tells you what the price is, and it gives you the opportunity to enroll now. One of the other features is this little progress bar. After we log in and start working through the course, shows you how much of the course you have completed already. So in this case, haven't completed anything because we haven't started it. And if we go down here and we try and get into any of the elements of the course, it says you don't have access to this content. So it kind of gives you a teaser as to what is there, but it prevents you from actually interacting with the content. So pretty simple, pretty basic, a nice clean look, and I really like that part of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. So we can take a look at both the front end and the back end of how this LearnDash site is set up. So after I log in, it tells me that I have what my membership level is, and of course my username, gives me a chance to change my password, etc. So now when I go to the lessons, wait a minute, should say I'm logged in. Wait a minute. Okay, guys, let's make sure. Of course, this is always what happens in a demo, right? Okay, cool. All right, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. So now that I'm logged in, I can see which lessons I have completed and which ones I'm enrolled for, basically I haven't completed yet. And if I look at one of the ones that I have completed, this is not working for me today. Okay, let's refresh everything. Of course, the curse of the demo, right? Ta-da! Okay, so here's one that I have completed. And when I log into it, it says you have earned a certificate. I can actually download my certificate and print it out and put it up on my wall if I want to. And we go through here and you can see there's a check mark for everything I've done so far. So let's go back to one of the ones I haven't completed yet and just kind of take a quick step through it. So this one, 2 common data types. You can see I haven't looked at it for almost a year. So first of all, the way we have this one set up is it starts off with a pre-assessment quiz, which apparently I have already done, but let's just step through it again. So the pre-assessment quiz gives you the opportunity to kind of test the knowledge that you're starting off with. And then we give you the same quiz at the end of the course in order to judge your progress. So why should educators give assessment? So I'm just going to just kind of guess on some of these. Just kind of go through here and pick these randomly, and just to kind of see. Finish the quiz. We'll see how well I do since I reached 1 of 5 points, 20%. So if I'd paid attention to the questions, I'm sure I would have done better. I can restart the quiz. I can view the questions and see which ones were right. So this one was check all that apply, and the one that I chose was the only wrong one. And so you can go through and it actually gives you feedback about which is incorrect and which ones are correct. So it basically, you know, the quiz is graded and you can get feedback. So let's go to the next step. The way each of these courses is set up is they have the module with the video, which students watch. And then also we have the PowerPoint that was used in the video as material, so they can step through either one. So basically mark it done when it's completed. Next, after watching the video and reviewing the PowerPoints, they have an assignment. So in this case, we have 2 common data types and exercise. So the way this particular assignment works is you copy and paste, you create and put this into a Word document, you answer the questions, and then you upload the file. And I'll show you what happens to those in a minute. So since these assignments are designed to be self-graded, we explain what the accurate answers are, so you can evaluate your own content and see if your answers were correct. Since these assignments are kind of open-ended, not really quizzes, this provides some opportunity for people to be, a little bit creative in their answers. Next, we have an opportunity to take notes. So you can write your own personal insights, thoughts about how this would apply in your own on-the-job situation. And then I found this notes plugin, and basically people, can write whatever they want and save it for future reference. This is not something that is great. And I can actually see all of the notes on my profile page. So we go here to the profile page. We can actually see all of the notes that have been taken for all the courses. So we'll mark that one as completed. Now we get to the post-assessment quiz. So I need to pay attention to the answers there. So check all that apply. So these are there, okay. So why do most educators use permanent product data? Guessing this one. What is the disadvantage of a permanent product assessment? Oh, let's say that one. What is frequency or event recording? What might you not want to use frequency event recording? Three out of 5 points, so I got 60%. That is not a passing grade. You have to have at least 80%. So in which case I could restart the quiz, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time worrying about that right now. We can see it tells me that I have 83% complete. And these are the achievements that I have earned for taking the other courses. And these are the certificates that I have earned. So with that, let's go back to homepage. So it shows, this one doesn't show me as completed yet because I didn't complete that final quiz. Now with a few more minutes of review, I certainly could have, but it's been a year since I've built this. All right, so now let's take a look at the dashboard really quick. I don't want to go over time, but I do want to just kind of give you guys a peek at what LearnDash is like. First of all, they start you off with this boot camp, stepping you through each of the various aspects. Each one of these modules has a video. So really great documentation and so super helpful, so super helpful. So let's take a look at for each lesson. So you can see that I've got these various lessons here. Here's the Goldilocks rule, the 2 common data types. This was the lesson that I just worked on. This site is built in Divi, but actually not much of the functionality is taking place in Divi. So let's first of all take a look at the builder, which is the key part of LearnDash. So I've got the lesson page, and here is the builder. So this is where most of the content is built. Now, when we looked at Canvas, you could see each module. I had the little plus, and I could add different types of content to the modules. So in this case, I've got these various elements here. And basically, we find the parts, the modules are listed over here on the right-hand side. So we'll see if anything shows up. One of the things I realized yesterday is that if you've already used all of the content for this particular course, you're not going to be seeing this listed over here in the modules anywhere. So I think that what we're going to do, I'm just going to add a couple elements here. It needs to be something that's not a draft. Okay. No, all right, well, data is a draft. There we go. So once this comes in, you can see that here are various elements that can be moved around. We can, here's the journal notes feature. So each module, each assignment is, put into the course in the order that you want people to, to use it. You can add quizzes, all that kind of stuff. So these are the modules. You can add modules, you can add topics, and you can add quizzes. All of these can be added to a course itself. So if I need to edit any one of these elements, I can, I guess I just click on that to change the title. Oh, but if I want to edit the module, I click over here and it takes me to that actual module itself. So we can see that we've got the iframe, the video, all that stuff. So on the module, we have settings for each module. We can show that, you know, whether it's part of a video progression, does it have assignment uploads? Do you want to use a timer? So basically, if somebody's, you know, watching a video and you want to say, okay, you know, do this, watch this in 5 minutes, you can set up a timer. You can also decide what your schedule is for the module. So you could say, oh, this is going to be week 2, week 3, week 4, and yeah, those are the only controls that I have on this particular one. So let's go back to the actual lesson itself, because I wanted to show you guys some of the controls on the lessons. My internet's a little slow today. Come on, baby, you can do it. Okay, cool. So the settings, so for each course, you can control these particular types of settings. You can show, will there be materials included? So in which case, what are the materials going to be? The lesson certificate, basically right now I've got 1 certificate for all the courses, and the information is inputted, you know, based on each course. Lesson content is always visible. So when we first looked at it and I wasn't logged in, you could see some of the content, but you couldn't interact with it. Some of the other settings that I have set up here is basically, you can have something that's open access or free. You can have something that is buy now, they have to, or it can be closed. So in which case this is closed because I'm using Paid Management Pro as the membership access controller. And the reason why I'm not using LearnDash as the membership access plugin is because these clients wanted to use a coupon, and the coupon code is not something that LearnDash supports. So I had to install a second membership plugin in order to use the coupon code. All right, some of the other things. So you can have, here's you switch on lessons prerequisites, you can add points to it, and you can actually put an expiration date. So for example, at Clark College, you know, the class that I'm teaching right now would be available from July through the end of August, and I can set an expiration date. In this case, the client did not want people to have to progress through the course in a linear fashion. They wanted them to be able to click on any part of the lesson at any time. So, so right now it's set up as free form. And you can see what the various students are who have taken the course. So these features are really essential to being able to, you know, guide student progress through, limit access. You know, you can set things up to start on a certain day, end on a certain day, and all that kind of stuff. So we took a look at the various modules and the topic. So lessons are made up of modules. Quizzes are made up of questions. So you can start with the quiz and then add individual questions to it. You can use questions in several different quizzes. So if you have one question that's common for you know, all of the quizzes, you can add that. This new feature challenge exam. So basically that's kind of like the quiz we have at the beginning of our course. The fact that it's like, oh, you want to pre-test your knowledge. The assignments. So basically when somebody turns in an assignment, you can see that it ends up here. And then you can review the assignment. You can give the student feedback. You can tell who submitted the assignment. Look, Rupert the dog was doing some homework. Anyway, so assignments are pretty handy. Let's see what else. Oh, I wanted to show you guys the gradebook. So I can either go by course and take a look at the grades for each individual course and see who has completed it. You can export all the gradebook grades. You can manage gradebooks, do settings and all that kind of stuff. So this is actually really a handy feature in order to be able to tell how students are doing. You can get financial reports about both the user data, the quiz data. So I guess these are just, oh, and here we go. So we can look at transactions as well. And as I mentioned, since I have Paid Management Pro being the place that people sign up and do the payment, we're not going to see transactions here. Really quick, because I know we're kind of running out of time here. There are tons of add-ons for LearnDash. So you can, right now I'm using the course grid feature. You can add WooCommerce. Right now I'm at Paid Memberships Pro is what I'm working on. But just gonna say EDD Certificate Builder. Seems to me that I thought I saw something for not SiteGround, but SharePoint. I thought I saw a SharePoint one. So the Uncanny Toolkit is a tool that I am using. It adds a lot of extra features to it. And so you can see there's a ton of different ways to fine tune and, customize your WordPress, your LearnDash stuff. So really quick, I'm going to stop looking at this right now. And I think those are most of the things that I wanted to add. Right now, I'm not using groups and haven't really been using topics, but it has actually been an amazing journey. So let me do one more screen share because I wanted to get back to my PowerPoint here. Come on, baby. So it's structured like a block editor in that you have sections and then blocks, so various blocks of content. So right now on the site that we just looked at, these are the plugins that I'm using. So we've got LearnDash, I've got the Pro version, it's $159 a year. Right now I'm using the free version of Paid Membership Pro, just so we can get the payment and member access and use coupon codes. The Uncanny Toolkit plugin has a ton of really handy LearnDash add-ons. I can't remember if that was a premium plugin. I think it probably is a premium plugin. I think it runs around $40. And then GamyPress is the plugin that I use to add the badges. That was pretty fun to set up, but it looks like LearnDash now has that built in to the plugin itself. And then because I designed the site with Divi, I have the Divi LearnDash kit. And then the last one is Gradebook for LearnDash. So once again, this is another element that wasn't native to LearnDash when I started using it. And it looks like now it is a feature of WordPress, LearnDash itself. So with that, I'd just like to encourage everybody to please get in touch. I, love to connect with other people, and I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn. reach out to me anywhere, and I, would love to be connected. My personal website for my business is serious-media.com. And as in the cobbler's children, I haven't updated it for probably over a year. Anyways, my email is Feline@serious-media.com. And I just wanted to encourage you to take a look at LearnDash.com. The features page basically explains all of the bells and whistles and why it is a great product to use. I've been really pleased with the capabilities that it gave me on the website. And as I mentioned, their support has been excellent. So it's a product that if you're thinking of starting an online course and you want to make it a little bit more custom than what you'd get with Teachable or something like that, I definitely recommend it. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing. And let's see what we've got in the chat. Okay, thank you, Dana. Cool. You're a good secretary. Cool. All right. Does anybody have any questions that they want me to answer? I see.
Hi, Feline. This has been great. It really is. I just had a question about what payment gateways does the LearnDash use? You said you were using PayPal, and they also have Stripe.
Yeah, this particular one we're using PayPal, but you can do Square or Stripe as well.
And that's built into LearnDash.
Yeah, they were add-ons. So when I was looking at the add-ons, so basically they were a feature that you could add on, so you could customize that. Yeah, good question.
Yep.
Cool. And anything else?
Yeah, Feline, I had a question for you.
Yes.
When you download the LearnDash, you don't have to set up a separate website. You can have that integrated with a website that you already have.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. They do include, a dedicated theme that you can use if you want to. But yeah, in this case, since, I was using Divi, I think that I started actually building the LearnDash function of the site before I found the Divi integration. And so that just made it easier to control the page layout.
Yeah, my website already has a login. So aside from that, because I have a scheduling system for the users, so would I have to have a separate login? Then when I download when I integrate LearnDash, I guess it would take a separate login then.
Yeah.
To access. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, thank you for the question, Pedro. That was great.
Okay.
I'm just kind of looking at the chat here, and somebody asked, when you take on a client, do you use their username and password and account information, or do you have your own LearnDash account to build a site for somebody else? So basically, when I start working with a client, if they have an existing website, I always set up my own username. Because one of the things I have found in the past is that, especially working with a few really spacey clients, is this one client, it's like every time she logged in, she'd reset the password. And I was trying to use her login, and it's like, what did you reset it to this time? What? So yeah, each unique user should have their own username. And then as far as when I purchase it from LearnDash, generally I go ahead and I make the purchase, and then I charge back that fee to my client when I do invoices. So, but the client always has access to the site itself. But generally they don't, they don't touch it. Okay, so here's another. Each LearnDash WP module entered is predicated upon the prior when answering. Correct. Yeah, so yeah, you can do an order of operations. So when I was talking about the settings, for the sites to have prerequisites. First of all, you have to do something else first successfully before you can start that course. And then to make sure that they do a linear progression. So basically you have to do step A before you can do step B, before you can do step C. That controls how students work through the site. And then of course you can also do the timing. So you can say, okay, this is next week's course. This will be open, for a month. And then, the next month happens. So let's see, what else? Is there anything else? Oh, can you import quizzes from a spreadsheet? That's a good question, Milton. I have tried doing that, but I think you can. I think that basically you'd be importing the questions, and then for each quiz, then you'd go and build the quiz from the questions that you imported. Cool. When you install LearnDash, does it automatically install LearnDash pages? Oh, yes, like the shop page and the account page and stuff like that. It does for some. So for example, the student profile page is something that LearnDash creates. I didn't have to do anything to create that. For each course, I did have to build the progress for each course. And but the only real custom, and of course the sign up pages, so the ones where you're signing up for the membership and making the payment, that all is built for you. Yes. Okay. Oh, here's a question. How do I handle yearly renewals if I purchase the license? I pay for it and then I bill the client. So that's how it works. And that's one of the things I usually do when I'm getting the notice from LearnDash saying, oh, this is about to be renewed. Then I send, forward that to the client, say, hey, this is coming up. You'll be invoiced for that. And next year, the next invoice. Cool. Anything else?
So the question was on the membership yearly.
Yeah.
So do you have a license for unlimited amount of domains you can use, or is it just basically you pass it on to your client? They get a one user license essentially for LearnDash, a one domain license.
Yeah, actually right now my LearnDash is a one domain license. If I do have a commercial plugin that I'm spreading it across, several websites, then, each one will pay their share.
Okay.
So, say, this is the fee. It was for 5 sites. You're one of 5. So this is your fee.
Does that mean that you're working with them on a yearly maintenance contract, or if you build a site and then hand it over to them, somewhere along the line, you still have to stay connected if you've got the license.
Yeah. So generally with my clients, I don't have very many maintenance contracts going on, but I do stay in contact and I do check their sites on a fairly regular basis, and try and at least get in there every few months and say, hey, it's time to do some updates. And again, I'll send them an email saying it's like it's time to do updates. We've got 17 plugins and 3 whatever, and then let them know. So is there a limit to the number of students you can have in LearnDash? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. So I would think that, I wouldn't know. So a 500 block threshold, or Dennis, that's a great question. And I don't know. So I can try and find out.
I think I have the answer to that. It says unlimited users on their website.
Okay, there we go. Then that would be it. You can, you could build a community college with this. So. All right. Well, everybody, I really want to thank you for your time and attention this evening. I hope it helps people understand some of the features and functions of an LMS and why it has advantages to just you know, providing somebody a link to a video that, you know, they have to pay for. So great. Well, with that, I think, yeah, thank you, everybody.
Great.